Letter number 8 is called Dal, and in English it would be equivalent to the letter D. And this is how it's written in its normal form in the beginning of the word, middle of the word, and end of the word. There are two ways to write it. You can write it in the first way where it's part circle, or the other way where it's like a triangle missing one of the lines. Dal is not connected to the letters after it, so it is considered a mean letter. And you can see that in the examples. If dal was after a mean letter as well, it would be written as the following without the line connecting it to the letter before it, and that's only possible in the middle and end of the word because in the beginning of the word it is the first letter. Letter number 9 is called Val. Val in English would be the TH in the word va, and this is how it's written, again very similar to the letter dal, and you can write it either way, circle-ish or kind of triangular kind of way. Same thing as the letter dal. Val is a mean letter, so it is disconnected from any letters after it, as you can see in the following examples. And if it was after a mean letter, it would just be disconnected from the letter that was before it, as shown in the examples. Letter number 10 is called Ra. In English, Ra would be equivalent to the letter R, and this is how it's written. Ra is a mean letter, so it's disconnected from the letters after it, as we know, and you can see that in the examples. If it was after a mean letter, you would simply disconnect it from the letter that was before it. Letter number 11 is called Zane. In English, Zane would be equivalent to the letter Z. It is written very similar to the letter Ra, except it has one dot on top of it. And just like Ra, it is considered a mean letter, so it is disconnected to any letters after it, and as shown as in the examples. And if it was after a mean letter as well, you would simply disconnect it from the letter before it. Letter number 12 is called Sheen. Sheen would be the letter S in English, but there are two letters that would represent the letter S, and I will tell you the difference later on. This is how the letter Sheen is written in its normal form and throughout different positions of the word. Sheen is connected to the letter after it, so it is considered a friendly letter, and you can see that in the examples shown. If it was after a mean letter, you would simply disconnect it from the letter before it. Letter number 13 is Sheen. In English, the letter Sheen would be sh. And it's very similar to the letter Sheen, except it has 3 dots. You can write it either way, any of the ways shown. And it's a friendly letter, so it's connected to the letter after it, as shown in the examples below. And if it was after a mean letter, you'd simply disconnect it from the letter before. The 14th letter is called Sod. This is the other letter that represents the letter S, and it is written as the following. The difference is that Sheen is pronounced as sa, while Sod is pronounced as saw. So it's more like an emphasized kind of S, and it's a friendly letter, so it's connected to the letter after it. And if it was after a mean letter, you simply disconnect it. The 15th letter is called Bod, and in English it would be a DH, and I'm going to get to the pronunciation in just a moment. And this is how it's written, same as Sod, except it has 1 dot on top. It is also a friendly letter, so it's connected to any letters after it as shown, and if it was after a mean letter, you simply disconnect it from the letter before it. Letter number 16 is called Ta. And in English, it would be the letter T. And there are 2 letters that represent letter T, and I will compare them at the end of the video, so keep watching. This is how letter Ta is written. It is a friendly letter, so it is connected to any letter after it, as shown in the examples. And if it was after a mean letter, you would simply disconnect it from the letter before it. Letter number 17 is dha, and in English it would be th. And we have 3 letters that are actually th, and I will explain them at the end of the video again. It's same as dha with a dot on top, friendly, connected to any letters after it. If it was after a mean letter, you simply disconnect it. So the letters Sheen and Sad, both of them represent the letter S. But one is a soft S and the other one is a hard S. Sheen is a soft S, and it's just like the English S, for example in the word say. And it is pronounced with the mouth open, and it's small and weak, so it's just S. The letter Sad would be the hard S. For example, the S that is pronounced in the word saw, it's kind of close to that. It's pronounced with the mouth more closed and with a lower pitch, as if you're a big stalwart man. So here are some examples. For Sheen, Samia, and for Sad, Sabun. Samia, Sabun. So one's soft and one's hard. Now the difference between the letter dha and dad. The difference is barely noticeable, and many native speakers themselves can't even notice the difference. And like if they're spelling, they'll be asking, like you will tell them dharif, and they're like, is it spelled with a stick or without? Meaning this one with the stick and this one without. So if you can't get it, don't feel bad. Like not many people do get it. But in English, dha would be a th, but very deep and strong, as in the word dharif. And dad would be closer to the letter D. For example, in the word dhabit, dhabit and dharif. Dhabit, dharif. Dhabit, dharif. Can't really tell a difference. But there's a slight difference where the dha, this one, is a bit closer to th. Dharif, dharif, dhabit. Dharif, dhabit. Now the difference between the letter ta and ta. This one's ta and this one's ta. And in English, they would both be the letter T. Except one is soft, which is ta, and it's the same as the T in English, and one is a strong T. And for some examples, the soft one would be tamr, while as the strong one would be tawus. So you can see there's a different ta, ta, ta,